I can't go back to you, my friend. Don't even ask, don't play pretend.
Claire and Meg are sisters with a 3-year age difference. From childhood, they competed first for parental love, then among friends, and later for boys. Meg outwardly resembled a beautiful doll with light curls and big blue eyes, but nature had deprived her of intellect. She studied poorly. Nothing interested her except herself, her appearance, and boys. Quite early, boys started showing interest in her. Claire, on the other hand, was fundamentally different. She was of ordinary appearance, wore glasses due to poor eyesight, and was called a botanist at school. She was naturally endowed with sharp intellect, excelled in her studies, and won various school competitions. Her parents were proud of her. They believed that Claire would not be lost in life and would build a good career thanks to her knowledge, while they didn't place any bets on Meg. She was just beautiful and might marry well. Due to her foolishness, Meg dated boys in higher grades who were beautiful on the outside but empty inside, quite infantile. Claire's personal life didn't go smoothly. Nobody paid attention to her. She envied her beautiful sister. A serious conflict between them occurred when Claire was finishing school. She fell in love with her classmate. He didn't reciprocate her feelings, but agreed to hang out with her in the park a few times in exchange for help with studies. Claire hoped to win his affection. Meg took him away from her, demonstrating the insincerity of his intentions. She started hanging out with him herself. "Why did you do that?" Claire shouted. "You should thank me. He's not worthy of you, and he's very easy to sway. Why do you need someone like him? I've also dumped him already. He switched to my friend. You hurt me, and I'll never forgive you for that. He would have been with me, if only briefly. What makes you think he would have been with you at all? You weren't what he needed, and I saved you from his company. You acted despicably. Even if I made a mistake, it would have been my mistake." The discord between the sisters became serious. After finishing school, Claire left her father's house to study in another city and stayed there. Meg finished school with mediocre grades. Her parents spared no expense on her education. She entered a university on a paid basis, but dropped out after just a year due to poor performance. Her mind was filled only with parties, entertainment, and young men. She didn't build long-term relationships, and no one proposed to her. Beautiful Meg had a goal: to use her appearance to find a wealthy man and live off him. She didn't want to work at all. She believed it wasn't for her. Claire, on the contrary, pursued a career. Passions didn't flare up in her personal life. She graduated from law school and immediately got a job as a legal assistant. Gradually gaining experience, she obtained the status of a lawyer. She bought herself an apartment, a car. She invested money in her appearance, had plastic surgery, and started to look much better. She found a beloved man. Claire lived in the capital. Her relationship with her man Kevin was serious. He proposed to her. Claire was happy. Finally, luck smiled upon her. Now she was doing well financially, in her career, and in her personal life. She no longer harbored resentment toward her sister and believed she had long outgrown childhood grievances. Unable to find a wealthy man in her own city, Meg went to the capital in pursuit of one. She had a brilliant idea: to live with her sister for a while until she settled in the city. Her parents helped the wayward daughter with money, but it wasn't enough for her. "Claire, can I stay with you for a while? I plan to study and work here," Meg lied. "Have you suddenly become smart? Live here, I permit it. After enrollment, you'll move to a dorm for students." "Claire, thank you." Claire lived in a 3-room apartment and allocated 1 room to her sister. She believed in her sincerity, thinking that Meg genuinely wanted to get an education and settle in life. She wanted to settle in life, but not like Claire, not through her own effort. Kevin came to Claire's house in the evenings. Meg looked at this handsome and quite well-off man and resented that Claire surpassed her in her personal life. And now she's getting married, and to such a handsome man with money. Such an idyllic scene they had. It bordered on cloying. The sister devised a cunning plan, banking on her own appearance. She adorned herself in snug home attire, short shorts and tops. Whenever Claire arrived, she always endeavored to catch his eye. The man responded to Meg with interest, for she was far more visually captivating than her sister. Moreover, her demeanor was light, cheerful. Such a girl was made to revel in the pleasures of life. Claire, on the contrary, was very strict, with a calm temperament. She lacked passion, approaching everything too seriously. Meg asked him for help under the pretext of taking documents to the institute. "Claire, you don't mind if Kevin drives me, do you?" Claire trusted her chosen one, and she didn't expect any treachery from her sister, so she had no objections. Meg wore a very short dress with a deep neckline and brightly painted herself. When the car stopped in the parking lot, the girl unexpectedly kissed Kevin. It was as if he had been waiting for just that. He embraced her and kissed her passionately, forgetting about his fiancée. Instead of the institute, the man took Meg to his apartment. Here, he cheated on his fiancée. After this, Meg told him that he was now obligated to support and take care of her, and to break up with Claire. Kevin agreed. He drove Meg home, and they went up to Claire's apartment together. Meg began to speak first. "Sister, congratulate me, I found my love. When did you find the time? Not at the university doorstep? No, you guessed wrong. Your Kevin is with me now. We're a couple. He's not as perfect as he seemed to you, and he's passionate about female beauty. There won't be a wedding for you." "Kevin, is this true? Are you with her now?" "Yes," uttered the once beloved man, lowering his guilty gaze. "I trusted you as I trusted myself. How you've disappointed me. And from now on, Meg, you're dead to me. Both of you, leave my apartment and never cross my path again. I wish you a happy life." The couple left, and Claire burst into tears. She warmed the snake on her chest, agreeing to let her sister stay. Meg had always received the best from childhood, and often coveted Claire's things. "How treacherous she is," thought Claire. The next day, her sister had already posted joint photos with Kevin. He looked happy. Claire threw herself into work, burying herself in tasks, leaving no time for grief. She didn't seek to find a new man. The pain of betrayal was too strong. 3 months later, Kevin appeared. He waited for her after work. "What are you doing here? I came for you. Let's talk?" "Talk to my sister. I've already talked enough." "We broke up. She found a wealthier man for herself and dumped me. I realized I made a big mistake. Let's be together again? I'm ready to marry you." Claire laughed in response. "Do you think I still love you and dream of becoming your wife after your betrayal? Do you think I can trust you again? No, you've shattered everything. There's no way back. We can't be together anymore." She walked away without looking back. She got into her car and drove away. Kevin just watched her go. "Why did I get involved with her sister? I've lost such a woman," he thought. From that day on, he began to periodically call Claire, lurk around her workplace, her home. Claire asked her colleague Bob for help. He needed to escort her home for a while, pretending to be a man in love with her. Bob agreed. When Kevin saw them together, confusion appeared on his face. "Don't waste your time. I have a beloved man. Stop stalking me. Get on with your life." Claire smiled at her man, and he hugged her by the waist. They drove off in his car. From that day on, the former stopped stalking. Claire and Bob started a relationship. He'd long been fond of her, so he was happy to help her. She'll marry him. Her sister continues to spend her life in search of a wealthy suitor, not sticking with anyone for long. Apparently, to each their own.